Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'll be going over a 10-man Algalon fight as well as explaining the differences between the 10 and 25-man encounters. Before we dive into the gameplay, here are a list of abilities that Algalon uses and the differences between 10 and 25-man. The first thing to note with Algalon abilities is the fact that the 25-man abilities will do more damage than the 10-man version, except for Phase Punch, which is the same fixed damage for both encounters. I will also highlight these abilities during the fight, so don't worry if you can't remember everything. The first ability on the list is Cosmic Smash. In the 25-man version, there are 3 Cosmic Smashes that go out versus 1 in the 10-man version. If you are directly in the middle of Cosmic Smash, you take max damage, but you will also take damage based on how close you are to where the Cosmic Smash goes off. Being around 8 to 10 yards from a Cosmic Smash will be pretty safe with the amount of damage you receive. The next ability on the list is Black Hole Explosion. During the fight, Algalon will summon 4 collapsing stars. These stars will lose 1% of their HP per tick until they reach 0 HP. Once they are at 0 HP, Black Hole Explosion will occur, causing raid-wide damage for the amount you can see listed. You can also choose the DPS star to get it to explode sooner to stagger the explosions so the raid damage is manageable. Most people will use a Divine Sacrifice, Aura Mastery with Shadow Resistance Aura, or other damage reducing abilities when a black hole explosion is going off. Quantum Strike is a big damaging ability to Algalon's current target. Algalon already hits tanks fast and hard, so you will want to try to have a defensive cooldown up at all times if you can, depending on your gear and your cooldowns available. Phase Punch is a physical DPS attack that is also a stacking debuff on the current tank. Once you reach 5 stacks, you will phase into the Shadow Realm where you will have to wait 5 seconds to return back. Most tanks will swap at 4 stacks to prevent phasing. Big Bang. This is the big one. Get it? Algalon begins casting Big Bang, which is an 8-second cast. During this time, the entire raid except one person is going to run to a black hole to phase so they don't get hit by Big Bang. The person staying behind will be a certain class or spec that can take the damage of Big Bang but not die. This is generally best performed by a Shadow Priest that has a Glyph of Dispersion, or a Sub-Rogue that can use Glyph Cloak of Shadows, Feint, and also Cheat Death as a backup. There are a few options that you can use, but they are less optimal, like Fire Mage using Cauterize, a Holy Priest using Guardian Spirit, Pally using Argent Defender, or Shaman using Earth or Fire Elemental Totem. Remember, if you use a totem, the elemental must be on the threat table for Algalon or it will not work. Please note that Pally Bubble and Mage Ice Block won't work and will wipe the raid. If Big Bang kills the soaking character, the encounter will end and you will have to start over. After Big Bang is cast, everyone will be teleported back to the instance where the fight will continue. Ascend to the Heavens. This move is cast by Algalon at the end of his 1 hour timer, killing everyone in the instance. Remember, you have 1 hour from when you first pull Algalon to complete the encounter. Living Constellations. During the encounter, Algalon will summon Living Constellations, which have a normal threat table and can cast Arcane Barrage on players. A player will aggro these and pull them into extra black holes to close the black hole and remove the constellation. This is generally done by the second tank. Now that we've gone over all the abilities, let's hop into the fight and see him in action. In our comp, we're running 2 Prot Pallies, 2 Boomkins, 1 Enhancement Shaman, 1 Demo Lock, 1 Affliction Lock, 1 Holy Pally, 1 Disc Priest, and 1 Sub-Rogue that will soak our Big Bangs. On the initial pull, we're going to pop Bloodlust because there's minimal raid damage coming out and it's a good opportunity to get good damage out. And actually, Phase 1 is harder than Phase 2 of Algalon, so if you're able to get to Phase 2, you're generally in pretty good shape. You can see Collapsing Star Spawn, and the first ability we're going to be looking out for is Cosmic Smash, where we have 1 in 10-man raid versus 3 in 25-man raid. You'll see the red circle come out, and you don't want to be standing in it, and you ideally want to be around 8 yards away from it to take minimal damage. The next thing you'll notice, we'll be focusing down a collapsing star to turn it into a black hole. In 10-man, the first one, you really don't need to desack or anything. You can just take the damage because most people will be topped off. After the first black hole explosion, it's nice to get a Paladin Desack or Aura Mastery plus Shadow Resistance Aura or other damage reducing abilities for the raid to mitigate raid damage taken by black hole explosion. Another handy tip I should have mentioned earlier, but DBM is very useful for this fight to track cooldowns such as Phase Punch, Big Bang, Cosmic Smash, or any other thing that you need to be aware of during this encounter. At this point in time, you can see living constellations come into the battle, and they will start to target healers and other random targets, casting Arcane Barrage on them. You'll also notice that we made a tank swap because the main tank had 4 stacks of Phase Punch, and this is a good time to switch to the off tank. Here you'll see Algalon start to cast Big Bang, and you'll notice that we left a black hole close to Algalon so the people can run into the Shadow Realm to not get hit by Big Bang, while our Soaking Rogue stayed out to take the damage. It's also important to run through the portal because if you stand in it, it will actually phase you back out, where you'll die from Big Bang. It's also important to note that once you go into the black hole and come back out, your threat is dropped, so the tank that was tanking Algalon needs to taunt Algalon and take him back. Another handy tank tip is to save a cooldown for when you get phased back and tank the boss. I, in this instance, saved Shield Wall, so I don't have to rely on a healer cooldown. At this point in time, we're continuing the fight, avoiding cosmic smashes that are still going out and trying to mitigate the tank damage that is taken. The tank who is currently not tanking Algalon is responsible for taunting living constellations and dragging them over a black hole to get rid of the constellation as well as the extra black hole. The importance of this is to reduce overall raid damage taken, since a single constellation can do 10,000 damage over 1 second for a total of 2 seconds. At 20%, you're going to transition to phase 2, where there will be 4 black holes spawned on 4 corners of the map. And it just so happens that we have a Big Bang sync up with this, so we'll phase through and then we'll come back out, and I'll mark where the portals are at this point in time so you can see where they spawn during phase 2. It's important to note their location so you don't accidentally stand where they spawn and get phased out. At this point in time, you'll be burning Algalon, and the off tank will be responsible for picking up dark matter adds that spawn periodically from the black hole portals to prevent them from attacking healers or other members of the raid. Generally, once you get to phase 2 and you're good on the Berserk timer, you're in pretty good shape to kill Algalon if you have people alive. If you found this video useful or helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I appreciate everyone for coming and checking out my videos.